everyone, and welcome to another season of the Star Sitdown. I am ecstatic to get this thing going again. It's been a nice little break, but we're back in action. And so for our first guest, I tried my best to find someone super exciting and fun and interesting. I was out of luck. So we settled for my friend, Hayden, not Hartrick. It's Hartrick. How's it going, Hayden?
It's going good. I'm feeling a little hurt on my heart right there.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's going pretty good. Excited to be back here with you, hanging out, having fun.
Yeah, no, I'm actually looking forward to it. The other day we went to brunch. We talked for like 3 hours, which was a really good conversation. It was really good to catch up with you in person
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. Yeah, tell the people a little bit about what's been going on with you, because you came on the beginning of last semester. So
Yeah, no, last semester was absolutely crazy for me. The Comedy Association, or I refer to it as ComAss, we've done 3 total digital shows over the last semester. We did one in October, one in November, and one it released on the first day of January, but it was technically our December show. And those were wild. It was a really interesting thing to see, because what we did basically is we had, all of the 3 parts of our club doing their own thing in a digital format, and then all of these segments would come together, and myself and the president of the organization, Luke Gasky, would take all of these. We have usually about 10 to 15 segments between each clip, and we'd sit down for a day, and we would get a whole plan for how the show would be laid out. And then we would also make a plan for these transitions between all of these things. And then usually for the rest of that week, it would be filled with me spending, anywhere from like about probably, I think my shortest one time I ever spent was about 6 to 10 hours working on editing all these transitions, making the show run smooth to be released on that Friday. So it was really, really cool to see this whole thing come together in this really interesting way that, I felt like we've really, I don't want to say adapted, because everybody says they've like adapted to this new medium, but we really we didn't try to force our stuff to be the same. We just kind of were like, we're in a new situation. We're just going to keep doing comedy in whatever way we can. So that's been a lot of fun. And then I think I talked about it a little bit last time I was here, but my D&D podcast, or D&D stream,
yes,
Jest Quest, has been kicked off. This Sunday will be our 7th episode. So it's been about 2-3 months of episodes, and that's been a whole lot of fun.
So last time you were here, you said that you didn't know how to make friends, and Dungeons and Dragons taught you how to make friends.
It's very true.
So are you good now?
I feel like I've been good at making friends. I mean, this sounds really egotistical, but I've been really good at making friends since about my junior year of high school. I consider myself a very charismatic person. That issue I told you about was really only in my freshman, sophomore year, as I was trying to figure out who I was.
Okay, nice little humble brag. You're like, I've been making friends since junior year, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, I like to think I'm really good at talking to people,
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. But no, it's such a fun game. It's really a special experience, and doing this in this streamed capacity it's different than any other time I've played Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because there's a lot more emphasis for me on the actual story cohesiveness, you know. It's still just a bunch of us hanging out, but there's now an extra element of me having to take more proficient notes to keep like continuity intact. Like I found myself having to go back and scrub through old episodes because I'll be like, uh-oh, I remember I said something about this specific artifact, but I don't remember what I said. So I have to figure that out so I'm not like contradicting myself, you know?
I literally don't. I have never played Dungeons and Dragons.
It's
I
such a
wasn't
great
really
game.
a D&D guy, you know.
Yeah, you don't give off the vibes of a D&D guy.
I mean, I when you started that campaign, I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I remember you messaged people. You're like, "What are your characters gonna be?" And me, I'm like, what? You remember? I was like,
I
just.
do I
I was
do
like, just.
remember what you sent
I
me.
was like, just make me Black Squidward. Yeah, it's funny. I could do magic. I didn't know, and I remember you were like, I want serious characters, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, that sounds good. But you're like, no, I don't think you get the game, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't get the game. I don't
Uh-huh.
know what I'm doing. And then other people were like, I'm gonna be a warlock with this ability. This is my backstory, and I'm like, oh, that's what I was supposed to do. Uh,
Yeah, no, it was an interesting thing to look for because I remember you sent me that message and I was like, uh-oh. Because like don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for characters like that, and it's just from my years of DMing, it's
and what's
I was
DMing? Because I don't know what
so
that is. That's not the
DMing.
DM I'm accustomed to. You know.
DMing is stands for dungeon mastering. It's referred to as game mastering. Um, Game runner, I think I've heard like once or twice, but it's mainly dungeon master or game master. And basically, what that role is so you have player characters and the dungeon master. Your player characters are they've made characters that live in this world. They're the main characters of the story, basically. And the dungeon master creates the combat encounters, the world that they live in, the cities that they explore, and every other person that they interact with that is not the players themselves is created and played by me. Um, so it's quite it can be quite a daunting task if you're not really sure what you're getting into, because like I have a whole like OneNote that's like a bunch of different things of like, excuse me, like world lore. Like I have a whole history of this world that I've created, like their whole pantheon of gods, the
Jesus.
origins of magic in that world, where what the other planes have done, about a couple thousand years worth of history in my head.
Well, like you just made up 1,000 years worth of history.
Basically, I've been running this world for about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
I created it with a buddy of mine from high school. Basically, we were both dungeon masters, and I had created this world originally, and then played a campaign with him in it, and he liked the world, and we both kind of started to flesh out this world a little bit together and run our own campaigns in this world. And as we started to run our campaigns in this world, we've both kind of separated the worlds, so they basically, it's almost like they're parallel to each other, right? Like they're very similar in aspects, but they're very different in different aspects. Like we have characters that overlap between our games, but we also have, there's bits and pieces that are entirely different from each other, you know? But I've been running this game for like 4 or 5 years, this world. So I have, this is not something I made up in like a month. I've been working on this for a while.
All right. Yeah, it's funny hearing you explain all of that because like it's so foreign to me. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
like you're like, just pick a character. I'm like, oh, this character's funny. They exist. I could be this character. It's like, I don't think so. Not in this league, not in this world. Okay.
Mhm.
So that was really, it was
Yeah, I
funny
mean,
just because I was like ignorant to the whole thing. You know, like I didn't know any better. How about that? I
mhm.
literally did not know any better.
Yeah, because it's like I always try as a DM, like one of the things that is like as a DM is you want to make sure that you work with your players to make their ideas work in your world, right? So with your specific character, I was kind of ready to sit down and like flesh this out because it wasn't necessarily that like the character itself was bad. I mean, I think like it would have been really hard to sustain that character in a campaign setting, but like I feel like we could have worked together and eventually made that character into something. Because like for example, like one of my players, my best friend Alex Pittner, he plays a wizard named Thomas Archibald the 16th. That it was kind of like baseline was he's a wizard who really likes candy. And we've really I've talked with him and all of my players. I've done this with all my players, and we've delved deep and fleshed out. They each have probably about a page and a half to 2 pages of backstory, just bullet pointed of things that have happened in their character's life, and important people in their character's life that we work together to make sure that that character fits in the world, you know?
Yeah, okay. That makes me feel a little bit better about the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. I'm gonna be honest. Uh, one day I will learn. You'll teach me.
I
One
will
day.
indeed teach you because
I
I
can
want to have you on Jest Quest at some point.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll go on. That'd be fun. Especially if I learn because I tried to watch it, but like I told you the other day, like I don't know. You know, it's like watching a basketball game and you don't know nothing about basketball. You're like, what are they,
Mm-hmm.
what are they doing? Like it was that kind of deal. But
Mm-hmm.
no, that'd be a lot of fun. Tell me a bit about your film Under the Hedge.
Under the Hedge. Okay, so I can't go too terribly deep into this because we're kind of keeping it a little bit under wraps. But uh, Under the Hedge. So it's a project I'm working on with the Comedy Association. There's a teaser trailer out for it on our YouTube channel, and basically we're making a fan sequel to the animated movie Under the Hedge or Over the
Over the
Hedge.
Hedge. Over the
Over the
Hedge.
Hedge. The film is called Under the Hedge. We're doing the idea came from because we in the Comedy Association celebrate the month of November as Over the Hedge month. Um,
Why?
I am a little bit murky on its origins,
Okay.
um, but I know a bit of it comes from the fact that Michael Fry, the creator of the Over the Hedge comic, follows us on Twitter, and we've had a couple of interactions with him on Twitter.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like
This is
what?
as far as my understanding. I'm not. Don't like quote me on any of this stuff. I'm just going off of what I
What?
know.
Okay, what do you know about these like that's kind of big. Like what?
Like they tweeted at him and he's like responded to it. You know.
Oh wow, okay. I mean, I don't know if he's busy. I mean, that movie came out in the 2000s. Maybe he's
Well,
just
he made the web comic that's based off of because Over the Hedge
Oh.
is like a newspaper comic that's been out for
Oh,
a
see,
really long time.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
I didn't either until I came to college, you know. Um, but I'm playing the role of Hammy, which is the squirrel character. It's actually it's been a lot of fun. I don't want to spoil anything here because you guys
Yeah, no, I
gotta
got
keep
you. I
an eye
got you.
out. But that has been something we've been working on since November, and it's come with its whole suite of challenges that we weren't really expecting. Because this is really like I've done sketches and stuff before, but this is really my first time working on a quote unquote short film that takes multiple days of filming and a lot of paying attention to what we're producing and how we're producing it, you know. But it's been a
Yeah,
lot of fun. I've learned a lot.
that's good. I understand that like the challenge, especially like I feel like on that scale, like with people's schedules, I feel like it'd be a lot harder to, schedule and get stuff done, no?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we there were so many scheduling conflicts over winter break this semester that have been just like stuff that comes out of nowhere, you know, because everybody's, especially that we're in the midst of a pandemic, it makes everything harder, um, because we have to keep, like, we have a really, really small crew, like literally it is just me, um, the director, and the two other actors are the only people that are really involved in the filming. And there's like people that are hopping in here and there, but like, um, those are the people that like we're trying to keep it as a small group as possible so it decreases the risk of COVID, you know.
Yeah. See, I didn't even think about that, man. That sucks. I really thought like when you told me about it the other day, I was expecting like a lot of people to be in on it
Hmm.
and like kind of do that whole thing. But nah, it makes sense, bro. Like
Hmm.
especially like here at the Star, like
Hmm.
we just started putting out the newspapers.
Yeah,
But like the people that go to like those and like make it operate, like they have to like cut down significantly. It really sucks, man.
truly it does. It's like, don't get me, like, there's a lot of people involved in this project. It's just there's not a lot of people on set, you know, when we're actually filming. But we have a bunch of other comedy association members involved in different facets of this thing, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm. It's just more so upsetting because I feel like that's where a lot of the fun happens, and like you make really good memories, and there are a lot of laughs and stuff.
Hmm.
Like when we
Because
when
like
we
we met on a
yeah
set, you
yeah
know.
that's what I was gonna say. That was what to say, and you had that. Do you remember when you had that light in your hand and you were going out of the bathroom, and then I got
Uh,
up off the couch? Okay, I'll tell the story. So we were shooting we were shooting a web series at an apartment, and Hayden was an AD on the series. Series is called World's Worst Cover Band, directed by
mhm.
written and directed by Harmony Austin. Shout out to Harmony Austin. But anyway, Hayden goes to the bathroom. He has to check something in the bathroom, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get him. So I hide outside the bathroom, and like immediately when he comes out and opens the door, because he had the lights up here so you can see the bottom of his stomach. I'm like, and then he almost drops the light.
Oh my
He's like,
god!
no, would you stop it?
Yeah, you like stuck your finger in my belly button or something, right?
I thought no, I just did a little bit of this. I just did a little bit
I
of that.
think I think that was the moment I knew we were gonna be friends, you know.
Yeah, it was so much fun. That was so
Mm.
funny. And it
That's a
was
very fun
funny
set.
because like you almost dropped a very expensive piece of equipment. It wasn't no?
No, those lights that I have,
Wait, was it a light or the I think it might have been a mic.
I don't think I was holding the boom because that was a different person's job.
It was something I remember you saying it could have broke. I
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
but
I
that's
mean,
not
the
what I
lights I have, I'm not really like a lighting guy. I don't specialize in that stuff, and I haven't had a lot of money to invest into good lights yet. So it would have been no big deal if that would have broken, but I
you're not
definitely did almost drop it.
you're not Bill Peeler.
No, I'm not Bill.
That's an inside joke. I'm not gonna
Uh-huh.
go into depth, but he gets it. Nah, but yeah, that's really good. I mean, I'm excited. I know you can't release a lot of information, but do you at least have an idea as to like when it's gonna come out?
I we're trying to get it out as soon as possible. As when we have an actual date that we're releasing it, I'll let you know. But as of right now, I don't have it. I can't make a claim. You know, I
Yeah,
can't
no,
even make an estimation.
no, I got you. I got you. It's no problem. So, another thing that I wanted to talk to you about because I had forgotten to bring it up last time is your voice acting.
Yes, I consider myself a voice actor. Um, at least I like to. I've in high school theater, I did a lot of like wacky character work in a lot of the plays that I would do in high school. And as I started to get towards the end of high school and started to really think about, because I knew I wanted to be a storyteller. I know that's something I want to do with my life because that's something that makes me happy, right? And as I started to get closer to the end of high school, I really started thinking, and it was actually a little bit because I came across the show Critical Role, which is another Dungeons and Dragons streamed podcast by a bunch of voice actors like Matt Mercer, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, like a lot of big name voice actors that play Dungeons and Dragons together. And that really kind of made me look into the world of voiceover and kind of realize that is a viable career path. And I've always been a fan of animated movies, if you can't tell by my Iron Giant poster back here. From when I was young, I've always really loved animated projects because I think that there's and I really didn't know how to put it into words until recently. And it's because I think that animation has a certain ability to allow an audience to truly engross themselves in a character, right? So you have like big budget live action movies with like named actors, and there's always that possibility that
Hang on, Hayden, you froze.
yeah, so animation I think has a really special ability to fully engross an audience in a character, right? Because you have big budget, or not big budget, but even like medium budget movies where it's in live action, and if you recognize the actor, there's always that little chance in the back of your mind that you're just kind of disassociate a little bit from the actual film that you're watching and see you're going to see that actor. You're going to be like, oh, that's Robert Downey Jr. Oh, that's Chris Evans. Oh, that's Brie Larson, stuff like that. And it can pull you out of the movie for a second. But in animation, unless you are really paying attention, I found it's kind of hard to pull yourself out in that degree, because the visual aspect of it, you are seeing just the character. Like I know that the voice of the Iron Giant is Vin Diesel now, but even when I watch the movie, because I'll go back and watch it every once in a while because it's my favorite movie of all time, I don't think about Vin Diesel when I'm watching that. What's her name? The girl that plays Rachel from Friends voices the mom in Iron Giant, and that
Jen Aniston?
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. She voices the mom in Iron Giant, and that, like, every time I watch that movie, I forget it and then remember it, and it blows me away because it is so much in my brain, not Jennifer Aniston. And I think that's the wonderful thing about animation is it lets you be able to kind of avoid being typecast a lot, like if you're good at changing your voice, you can make yourself into anybody. So that's what really pulled me to voice acting and made me be like, I want to be part of the animated movies that shape people's childhoods, that shape adult lives, that really kind of stick with people for the rest of their lives. I want to be remembered as these characters, not as me,
Yeah, no, everything you just said made sense. Everything that you just said made sense. And I understand what you're saying because, there is that sense. And I never really thought of it that way, in that it can take you out of a movie, but it can a little bit, like, for example, like we were talking about Cyberpunk a little before this, and like how the bugs, like the story is great in the game, but like the bugs and the little things like make you feel less immersed. And I feel like that is like one of those things where you're like, oh wait, that's Chris Hemsworth. That's not me, that's not Thor, as opposed to like seeing the animated Thor where it's just this voice and you're seeing the actual character, like, oh well, okay, that's Thor, like I don't know the guy behind the voice, but yeah, I love animation for that reason. Like animation is one of my favorite mediums, like of just like narrative period, just because I feel like you could do well. I'm not even that. I feel like I know you can do so much more in animation than you can in live action, which is something that bothers me. Like with Disney making all these live action remakes, like why don't we just like enjoy the animation that like it was with? And another thing too, like if you're gonna make something new, make it original. Don't just rehash.
Precisely.
Don't just rehash the thing that already exists. Make it worse just to
Mhm.
bang out a profit. You know that.
Yeah, like I honestly think like even from like a financial decision that there's decisions that Disney made don't really make sense to me because I feel like they would make just as much money um, if instead of spending millions of dollars to create these live action soulless remakes of movies from our childhood, if they just put like remastered those movies and put them back out into theaters, they would make buttloads of money from all the people that are our age or a little bit older and have kids now and would be like, oh, we can go see these movies in theaters. I'll take my kid to go see Aladdin in theaters.
That would be smart. They did something like that. Oh wait, no, I don't think Disney had. Remember? Do you remember when they redid the Phantom Menace? You probably don't. This was a couple years ago. They put the Phantom Menace the Phantom Menace out in theaters. Episode one of
Yeah, yeah.
the yeah. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, they did. But like, regardless, it was kind of fun to go back to the theater and have like a theatrical experience as opposed to just watching in the living room.
Yeah, like I went and before pandemic stuff, our local movie theater did a re-release of Goodfellas, and I took Alex with me to go see Goodfellas in theaters because he'd never seen it, and I'd only seen it like a couple times. And watching these old movies like with the theatrical experience, it's just something else, you know?
Yeah, I miss that too. I think there's a sense of magic in movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
The dude, it's so funny. The last in theater movie that I've seen was with you. We went to see Sonic. We saw
Yeah,
Sonic.
I was gonna say my last in theater movie was Sonic. I think I got to see it 4 times in theaters before pandemic started. My goal was 7, and I didn't get there. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sonic. I don't think it's a like great movie,
It was
but I
okay.
have so much fun watching it. You know?
Yeah, no, I understand like because you have these expectations about it, and then when you're like, wow, this is actually. I mean, you're like, it's not a terrific movie, but it's all right. Like it didn't screw the pooch. Like it had a story structure, clear protagonist, antagonist.
Like I went in there with these like rock bottom expectations of like I'm gonna go watch this and just laugh at it because of how bad it's gonna be. And then it was like just a decent film, and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen
I'm
because
gonna
my
spend
expectations were
I'm
so
gonna spend
low.
$50 to see it numerous times.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, with student discounts, it was only like $5 a ticket, you know?
Whoa, student discounts? Where you get
Yeah.
student discounts at?
Starplex.
They do that? It's
Yeah, it's
been
like
it's been so
five,
long.
$6 tickets for students on every showing, I think.
What?
That's the
Dude,
only reason I'd go to movie theaters so much is because their tickets were not expensive.
me and Natalie we would always go to well, not always, but we would go to Evo and we would go to Starplex. I don't
Hmm.
remember. I think our main theater was Starplex, but we've been to a few. I don't know, but nevertheless, I didn't know they gave out student discounts like that.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year, so it's kind of easy to forget.
Oh, it's been almost a year, man. That's wild.
Yeah,
Truly, truly wild.
yeah.
I really thought last time we did this podcast, I truly still had hope that the next time I came on would be in person, you know?
Oh no, 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 no.
It's yeah, fun times.
It is what it is, man. Just making the best of the situation.
Right.
And plus, like you and I, like since we're friends, it's not even like this is the only time like we hang out. Like when
Hmm.
we went to eat the other day, we'll do that again because that was really nice. Like I had some scheduled at 3, and I scheduled at 3 because I was like, we'll probably talk for like an hour, 2 hours, and I'll come back and get everything ready. But like, it was literally like 2:55, and I was like, listen, dude, I gotta go. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
go.
We were still like in the middle of a
Yeah.
conversation
Like
then.
we could have easily gone for longer, but
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because like I know I want to hang out with you more, but like I know that like I'm already looking at my semester and like that's the sucky part is like semester gets so busy with just other projects that we want to do, you know?
trust me, dude, I completely understand. I mean, working on stuff with this semester, it's gonna be kind of a doozy because I have an 8 a.m. which I had no choice, which
Hmm.
sucks because it's like either you're taking this 8 a.m. class or you're not gonna graduate on time.
Yeah.
You pick,
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
well, all right. And I have another early class, but yeah, I gotcha. I mean, and it's not even like I'm like Hayden doesn't want to hang out. It's more of like I understand we both got our own things going on. Sometimes it's
Hmm.
just not in the cards. So it's no ill will or any
But
or
you know
anything.
what? We'll keep shuffling the deck and we'll try to move it so it is in the cards next time, you know?
100%, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. Before we go, I want to just
Has it
cycle
already
back.
been like 30 minutes?
Yeah, it has. It
Oh
has.
my
Yeah.
gosh. It felt like I was like, we're still like 10 minutes in. I got a solid,
No, no,
yeah.
no, no, no. We've been doing a good job. I want to shorten these so they're more like watchable. I know not everyone
Mhm.
has the time to watch a 1 hour, 50 minute, whatever episode. So
Yeah, especially with an uninteresting guest like myself.
no, 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 no. You're pretty solid. I'm excited for what we got coming in store. Won't say it here, but I'm excited for that. I've been looking forward to it. Um, I really miss doing stand up and
Me too.
I remember last time we did stand up, you were there too. I went on right after you. That was so much fun.
Yeah, no, I
So
miss that. I really miss that. Um, if I talk about what I don't know if I ever told you this, but I tell you my mom ended up watching this podcast.
what?
Yeah, no, and it's not even because I sent it to her. She just like looked me up one day because I remember like I had mentioned that I was going on this, and she's like, I wonder if that ever happened. And so she sent that was like, hey, she texted me. She's like, hey, I watched your podcast episode. Thanks for telling me about it. And I was like, oh, I forgot.
What'd she think?
She thought it was really good. She said we had a really good conversation. So you got one fan in my
Hey,
mom,
all
you know?
right. I like that. I like the
Yeah.
sound of that. Thank you, Mama Hartrick. I know you're watching right now from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. It's people like you that keep this thing going. How was that? You think she's still
That was
watching?
really good. I
No,
think
I'm
she's
just
still
kidding. I'm
watching.
just kidding. No, but thank you so
Um,
much. Um, yeah, love animation. I there's so much stuff you can do that you can't do in live action. I think that's the beauty of it. I think now more than ever it's been taken way more seriously because I
hmm.
feel like maybe 10 years ago or even 15 there was a big stigma about animation like it's just for kids. But like now with like so many adult animated shows and BoJack Horseman for one,
Yeah, you
you
got
know,
BoJack, and then you got like kid shows that still even work for adult audiences. Like you got stuff like Gravity Falls and Steven Universe that have these huge fan bases that aren't just comprised of kids, and they teach these wonderful things to children that live action like just doesn't and can't.
yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah, but I love it. I hope not even that I hope. I know you'll be successful. I know the type of person you are, and I'm really excited to see where this takes you, man. Like I had no, I had like little to no understanding, or I not necessarily understanding, but I didn't even know how vast that like world was until you told me one day. You're like, think about all the people like reading, doing narration for commercials, or
Hmm.
like audiobooks, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. You
Yeah,
know, it's
people make careers off of that. You know.
like that guy in Mansfield, right?
Yeah, no, I got a Gabe Kunda who I met recently, who's from my same hometown. He's a wonderful voice actor. He does like Rock Lock on My Hero Academia. If you don't know Gabe Kunda, you should look him up. He's truly a wonderful voice actor, and I got the privilege of interviewing him recently, and he's such a wonderful guy too. And that's the thing is like, I feel like animation also helps take out a lot of that ego that you find in a lot of actors. You just get to meet a bunch of just wonderful, wonderful people, you know?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, I really appreciate having you on, brother.
Yeah.
This
If I
was
can just
nice.
shout out a couple things.
Yeah, no, by all means, go ahead.
Texas State Comedy Association. That's at TXST Comedy on Twitter, and it's Comedy Association on YouTube. Follow us there. Keep up to date on Under the Hedge and things like that. And then because we are doing more shows this semester. We're gonna probably shoot for another 3-ish shows. I don't want to put anything in stone, but that's probably what we're gonna shoot for. And then JestQuest, that is at JestQuestDND, the letter N. That's us on Twitter. You can follow us there. We post when we're streaming. We stream on the Comedy Association Twitch channel Sundays at 8 p.m. Central Time, because that's the time zone we're in. And so that's when we stream on Sundays. Follow us on Twitter. One of our players, Colin, does wonderful artwork of our characters that we get to post on Twitter sometimes. I get to post some of my DM behind the screen stuff that for players at home. It's just really, really great. And so come check us out there and have a lot of fun. Come hang out with us.
You guys heard him. I'll make sure to put like all your ads and relevant information on screen. So like as you're listening to this stuff, it'll pop up. So don't even worry about that. But in the meantime, man, again, I really appreciated your time. Please, if people are still watching, this is a little shorter. So we'll continue this trend going forward, hopefully. Thank you for watching. I'm super excited for the semester and everything we have in store. We got a team now. It's gonna be great, and I'm really looking forward to it. Hayden, and all jokes aside, I respect you, brother. I'm really happy you were able to be the first guest, and a lot has changed since that first episode in both of our lives. So it's really good to connect and catch up again. But
yeah, thank you so much for having me on again. This is always so much fun when we do this.
Yeah. I've had a blast. And we'll talk more like in person, and not maybe not in person, but you know what I mean. Like we'll connect. But in the meantime, guys, you guys take care. That's it for this week's Star Sit Down. See you guys next week. Bye.